The life cycle of a ladybug. This is a ladybug. You've probably seen her around your backyard or in a park somewhere. You notice who she is by noticing the red color on her back and her black spots. Some ladybugs can be orange and yellow also. Just like other insects, ladybugs must complete a life cycle. The mother ladybug lays the eggs, and then once the eggs hatch, the larva comes out. These little larvae eat and eat and eat and eat until they're too big for their own skin. And they actually shed their first layer of skin before going into their pupa stage. And in their pupa stage, they go through what is called a metamorphosis, which is a complete change. And when they come out of their pupa stage, they have become an adult ladybug. We learn a lot about butterflies going through this, but we don't realize often that other little insects also go through these changes. I was very lucky to come upon a ladybug laying her eggs in my backyard. After she laid her eggs, she walked away from them and she went on her merry way. I watched the little eggs every day and I checked them morning and night. The next morning, I noticed that one of the little yellow eggs had turned black. Now, I didn't know what was happening to them because I didn't know the ladybugs had a life cycle. And so I watched very closely, and later on that day, more of the little eggs had changed colors. The next morning, I went outside and I thought that there were spiders on the eggs. But when I looked closer, I noticed that each of these little critters only had 6 legs, and spiders have 8. So I knew for sure that these must be little baby ladybug larvae, and that they were. Some of them were still on the egg, and some of them had walked away. You can see one in this picture that's a little bit further away from all the little eggs, while most of them are still on the eggs. And that's because they eat a little bit of the shells to get the energy to go find other food. In this next picture, there's a spider close by, and I watched closely to see what the spider would do. But the spider wasn't interested in the baby larva, so it went away. Later on that evening, when I went to check on the little eggs again, there were barely any left. Most of them had gone crawling onto this other parts of the play structure in search for food. And then, when I came back, they were all gone. Just like we talked about on the life cycle picture, the little larvae leave the eggs in search of food, and what they eat are aphids. This is a picture of aphids. They're little tiny bugs that live on plants. Ladybugs are good to have in the garden because aphids eat our plants. And so having ladybugs helps get rid of those little pests. So they fill up on lots and lots of aphids. And then they go into their pupa stage. This is what their pupa stage looks like. After some time of being inside, they start to break free and become an adult ladybug.